Let me welcome our keynote speaker of the inaugural session, Shri Tarun Kapoorji, who is the Secretary, Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gas, Government of India. And he is one of the renowned officers in the government, which are known for age reforms and major steps each like taking to bring up the energy sector in the country. And let me request our inaugural industry speaker, Dr. Lavnish Chanana from SAP to welcome the Honorable Secretary. Lavnish, over to you.
Thank you, Raviji. Good morning, Tarun Kapoor. Thank you very much, sir, for being here today. Indeed, an honor and a privilege to be with you on this session. And your initiatives in the Ministry of Petroleum and Natural Gases, as far as the digital interventions are concerned, are truly appreciable. The organizations under the ministry and some of the PSUs have shown remarkable co-innovation opportunities with industry, and that's where we have truly been privileged to be serving many of them as a part of the digitization. We keenly look forward to hearing from you and understand your vision, and I'm sure that will be a great input and enabler to all of us as we chart our way forward. Thank you very much, and over to you, sir.
Good morning to all the participants, and thank you for inviting me here. The subject is very appropriate and relevant. India Transformation Summit, and so therefore we have to talk about the transformation that is happening in India, or the transformation which we wish should happen in India, or the direction in which government is proposing to transform the country. We are all, our generation, I would say, and the next generation coming forward, we are all in an era where the world is undergoing a very major transformation, and countries like India, developing countries like India, the transformation from a level where we are a developing country to a level where we will be a developed country is going to be much faster than the transformation happening in the rest of the world. While rest of the world may be talking of things like energy transition and moving into sustainable forms of development, while they've already gone beyond a level as far as economic prosperity is concerned, countries like India have to transform on the economic front. We have to transform on the environmental side, get development in a more sustainable manner. We have to create opportunities for the large population of this country so that their economic standards improve, quality of life improves. We have to transform to ensure that the entire population is well educated. We have to transform to ensure that basic services or basic facilities are available to the entire population, including health. And we also have to transform to become a world leader in several areas, including manufacturing. The Honorable Prime Minister has been talking about Atmanirbhar Bharat, which means that we also have to ensure that we are able to match the developed countries in terms of producing whatever we need within the country, and also exporting and becoming leaders in several products and services, which we can then specialize and then be known for across the world. So while we are talking of moving into a 5 trillion economy and then further maybe into a much bigger economy, what are the areas which we need to look at? So I would say that the areas we really need to concentrate on are creating job opportunities for the large, vast population in the country. And these job opportunities or jobs which we create should be sustainable. So this would automatically happen if we are able to develop at a faster pace. The industry, manufacturing comes up in a big way. The service sector also grows. Agriculture sector has to also transform in the sense that right now, while agriculture supports a very large portion of our population, but recently there were some figures published where it is shown that a very large percentage of that population are either agricultural laborers or they are marginal farmers. So, which means that there is a number which agriculture can support, but right now it's supporting a number which is much bigger than that. So gradually, more jobs will have to come in manufacturing and in the services sector, which can happen. It's not very difficult. So therefore, the vast population which is currently portion living below poverty line, portion living above poverty line, but then not at a level where we can say that they are they are at par with similarly placed persons in the developed world. So that they also need a boost to move to a higher level, and which will happen with the economic growth, which will happen with as the economy expands and as the business expands. Now, this has to be driven by the private sector. That's very clear. Government has been talking of private sector playing a much larger role. And the plus point about India, I think two very major plus points. One, that we have a large number of entrepreneurs, or I would generally say that Indians are entrepreneurs, very enterprising. They can even in tough circumstances, they can make businesses work. And large number of startups are coming up. So on one side, we have a good and number of entrepreneurs, and more entrepreneurs can also come up. And second, very big plus point is that we have a large technical manpower, one of the biggest technical manpowers in the world. So these two are very major plus points which we have, and which means that on the manpower front we are quite good. Now, how do we go forward? How do we ensure that investment comes in, and how do we ensure that we move fast? We need investment to come in internally from within the country, which means that those organizations, institutions, financial institutions, and individuals who can invest must be motivated enough to invest within the country, and also international investments must come into India in a big way. And that's what the government is moving towards by creating atmosphere in the country, laying great emphasis on ease of doing business, moving up on the international ratings in this field, trying to simplify procedures, trying to reduce the compliance burden so that it becomes much easier to work here in India, and also trying to open up areas so that under the Atmanirbhar Bharat, more manufacturing can happen in India. So here in our ministry also, yesterday only we've launched, the Honorable Minister has launched a portal where we have, it's called Lakshya Bharat, and in this portal, the entire requirement of various components and material in the oil sector in aggregated form for the next 5 years would be available, plus all procurement which is happening in the sector, and uh, the the local manufacturing capacities, so that anyone who wants to invest is very clear that this is the gap. These are the components which are being imported, and in some cases 100% imports are happening. In some cases, partial imports are happening. So anyone who wants to look for some good business can just go to this portal, and he'll get an idea on what are the components which can be made in India, and immediately a market is there. So this sector consumes components and material. If you look at the various sizes also, then it runs into lakhs. So that complete information is available on that portal. So it's huge data. So those kinds of attempts, so that the manufacturing in India gets a boost, and in the process we create more activity in the country, and also get more jobs also. So that is one area. And then a little bit about energy transition. So that's another very major area which this my ministry is looking at. So as on today, we are largely dependent on coal, and to some extent on crude, which means that fossil fuel. So the plan is to, while we are moving more and more towards renewables, the plan is also to move towards natural gas in a big way. So out of the primary energy needs of the country, around 40% are coming from coal. I'm talking of the primary energy, which includes transport, which includes cooking and everything. About 30% is still coming from crude oil, and natural gas contributes just 6.7%. And incidentally, renewables are just at 4%. If we take the primary energy needs, if we take the power, just the grid power, then renewable energy is now at over 9%, but in primary energy is just 4%. So while the renewable energy component has to go up very drastically in the primary energy basket of the country, natural gas also will go up, and already Prime Minister has announced that we will go to 15% by 2030. So that our energy transition is going to be in two parallel pathways. One pathway, which is a long-term pathway, is going towards renewable energy. The other pathway, which is a short-term pathway and which may be much faster, but then it is not something which is going to sustain forever, is moving into natural gas in a big way. And also in between we have biofuels. So biofuels also would be taken up are being taken up rather, I would say, because we already reached over 8% of blending in petrol with ethanol. So ethanol production has gone up tremendously this year, and the next few years it's going to more than double. And similarly, compressed biogas, and then we are also moving into hydrogen in a big way. So this is the way the energy transition is going to happen in the country, and going forward, we are very confident that the economy of the country would grow, and we would be at that 5 trillion target which we have set for ourselves. So my good wishes to all the participants, and thank you very much.